Hello and welcome to today's live lounge. I'm joined by Harriet and Jay, who are going to introduce themselves very, very soon. They are two students. I'm an alumnus, as my badge stays down there. And today we're going to be talking all about sort of what to prepare for university, what to get excited about, and why to choose Lincoln, really. So we'll talk about some of the things that made us choose Lincoln and some of the things you can look forward to when you arrive, hopefully this autumn. So I'd just like to start by saying if you do want to get involved today and ask any questions, please do so. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, just head over to the comment sections and submit your messages. So please say hello so we know you're watching, we know you're there. Or tell us what course you're hoping to apply for or have applied for. Hopefully you replied because the application deadline is tomorrow. Yeah, let us know what you've applied for, because what we hope to do is make some friends as we go along today. So what we'll do is we will encourage everyone watching to submit their course title for the course that they've applied for or applying for. And at the end, we will try and connect some of you. So if someone's written animation, you're planning on studying animation, then link up on social media and make friends before you arrive. And making friends is one of the things we're going to be talking about as we go on as well. So let's start with some introductions. My name's Darren. I studied film and TV here at the university. I'm actually on campus. I don't know which way to show you. I'm actually on campus in a seminar room. So this is bringing back fond memories. But I studied film and TV, graduated in 2014, so which is a little while away now. So we thought to get you some more recent students. So over to Jay. Jay, tell us what course you applied for, what year are you in?
Yeah, so I'm Jay. I'm a third year history student. I'm going to be looking to a master's course in medieval studies next year. So I don't know if I'm allowed to actually call myself third year anymore because I officially have finished, but we're still here, so that's something. Yeah, I'm the president of the Swim Society, and I joined in 2018, I'm pretty sure. God, it makes me feel old now.
That makes me feel old. How about yourself, Harriet?
Yeah, so I'm Harriet. I am technically a first year biomedical science student, but it's my second year at the Uni of Lincoln, so I changed course. Started last year. I'm not as interested as Jay. I'm not a president or anything.
Brill. We've got some people saying hello already. So hello, Sudhir, Naveen, and Mahfouz. Everyone else watching, I'll just remind you, if you do want to say hello in the comment section wherever you're watching. If you're on the website and want to engage with us, please do click through to the YouTube stream and submit your questions or comments in the comment section there as well. We do hope to be able to answer your questions. So if you've got any questions about where the closest Nando's is, or where you can go to watch the cinema, or anything about student life, we're the people to ask. So take this opportunity to ask us all your questions about that, and we will all try our best to help. As well as that, just a reminder, put your course in the chat and we'll hopefully make some friends today as well. But enough introductions. Let's start with where people are at the minute in the cycle. So people or applicants are going to be maybe already applied, hopefully already applied, maybe applied for their accommodation as well. So they're probably set on a certain accommodation, certain location. But let's think back to when we were applying for university. I mean, for me, it was quite a scary thing because I was the first person in my family to go to university for starters, and sort of moving away for the first time is quite a daunting thing. Although I was really excited because you're moving away from home for the first time, but it is quite scary. And to be honest, for me, I spent my time sort of preparing as much as possible, going onto Google, finding all the sort of social handles, finding all the images of courts, which is where I stayed. But Harriet, what about yourself? What were you thinking and feeling at this point in time when you were applying to the university?
Sure, I'm probably one of the worst students when it comes to this thing because I ran away And I took a gap year and I went and volunteered abroad for 3 months, and I came back literally 3 days before the UCAS deadline, and I applied for everything within that 3 days, cried for the majority of it because I was so stressed out. But ultimately it was a good decision. I found it stressful, so I didn't deal with it, but it taught me to get on with my work sooner rather than later. So now that I'm at uni, I don't do things just a few days before the deadline. I do it in advance. So I then kind of travelled around and looked at different universities. I went up to the university that I thought was going to be my dream university, and I visited the campus, did the open day, all of that sort of stuff. And I hated it. And then I came to Lincoln, not really thinking that I would ever go here, and I fell in love with the campus, the course, the people, and ended up here. So
I think that's really important, actually. It's a really good point. Like, you want to get a good vibe for the place when you go and visit it, actually. We've been running virtual open days and stuff, and hopefully been showing people and showing applicants what Lincoln is actually like, because we're a friendly bunch and it's a lovely city. But we do have physical open days in July, which people can book onto on our website, which hopefully will give, especially if you're wanting to join us autumn or 2022, but they will give you that opportunity to just check us out and get that vibe for the uni. What about yourself, Jay? What were you like?
I was a bit of a weird one. I wasn't meant to go to university the year I did. I was meant to take a year off work and all do that. But unfortunately, I say unfortunately because it worked out really well. But my A levels weren't as good as I thought they were going to be. I just didn't do very well on my exams. It wasn't the greatest, but luckily Lincoln still took me in. And it was a university that was my top choice anyway, so that was really nice. And yeah, to be fair, mine was similar. It was a bit rushed. And when I was coming up, I didn't really know anything really about nights out, Facebook group chat. So really, in my last week coming to university was a mad rush of trying to find people. I was like, I'm actually going to live with these people. I was like, I probably need to find out who some of these people might be. And that's why I think it's always nice from my experience, because I didn't do all the standard, getting in touch with people before, and yet still my first day was just as good as anybody else who had been trying to contact people for 5 months prior. And so I really do think when you first come to uni, try not to stress too much. When you get there, everyone's in the same boat. Just get stuck in, get on with it, and everything falls into place. Because like I said, it doesn't matter how much you've been texted. Once you're in there, you're in there, and you just get on with it. And it really was great. At the time, I really, really hate my life with my A-level results, but it's turned like I would never change anything for the world. I love Lincoln. I've loved my time here, and so much so I'm doing another year.
Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, it sounds like you both had a similar experience and maybe cut out a lot of that sort of the stuff that I went through of like months and months of sort of anxious waiting and stuff, which is great anyway. But one of the things we get asked a lot is on the run up to going to university. Like you said, Jay, you want to find people that you're living with, find people who are on your course. And we probably all do the same thing because every student does the same thing and they try and find them on social media and stuff. But Harriet, what were you doing at that point in time, or what would you advise to help people who are a little bit worried about university, maybe anxious and want to try and make friends now before they arrive?
Yeah, so I did do all the typical stuff, went in Facebook group chats, found all my flatmates, found people on my course, all of that sort of stuff. And you can start making friends through things like that. But I would say your biggest opportunities are when you get here. I always tell the story of how I met my best friend at uni. I walked down to the bottom of my accommodation and there was a girl there and she said, "Do you want to come to the pub?" And I was like, "Yeah, go on then." We went to the pub together and now we're literally best friends. We live together. We're living together next year. We literally do everything together. So I think you've got to remember when you're coming to uni, people want to make friends. People are terrified they're not going to make friends. But it's so easy to do. You literally can just meet someone at your accommodation, go to the pub and then be best friends. So yeah, I think it's not to worry. We've obviously got all of the schemes and stuff before the uni sets up the Facebook chat so you can meet the flatmates. So yeah, it's good.
So true. I think I met a very close friend on day one of moving into accommodation as well, and he's studying on the same course as me, which is crazy. Yeah, that's the thing about university. I think it's difficult to not make friends, wouldn't you say? Like, as long as you put yourself out there and you put the effort in as well, it is quite difficult not to make friends, really. Just want to quickly say hello to Dolly. Dolly is saying graduation was amazing at the Lincoln Cathedral, and yeah, completely agree, Dolly. Everyone's in the same boat, and yeah, we probably all made lifelong friends from university as well. But tell us about your experience, Jay, and what you did to try and make those relationships before you came to
Yeah,
university.
yeah. So before uni, it was mainly the Facebook group chats. That was again just to try and figure out who I live with more than anything, maybe find one girl. But then I just have to agree with Harriet. The main thing was once I got here, I just went and got involved, got stuck in. Literally the first thing, because I was stupidly, I went in the night before, and just felt horrific. I wanted to just go to sleep, but I dragged myself out, and you just go make friends, go out with people like we're having with Thomas Dolly. Everyone's in the same boat. Everyone knows that, so everyone wants to get stuck in. I have a very simple story about very close friends with random meetings, and that was with my history lot. I was late and went to the wrong room. One of our welcome introductory talks, and there was two people who did the exact same thing as me. Went with them, went found the right room. They knew somebody, and now me and 4 or 5 people, we've literally
I think you've
Oh, it's technical difficulties.
hopefully we'll get Jay back very, very soon. But how crazy is that? He met someone or met two people who had gone to the wrong room, same as him, and are now amazing friends. That is such a cool story. But there's so many stories like that at the university, in
It's
university.
always the way.
Yeah, it really always is. So anyone nervous about that sort of thing, please try not to be too nervous because um, there's lots of opportunities. There's societies which we'll talk a little bit about later, but even just the people you're living with, probably going to be your friends for
Yeah.
life. Which does lead me on to a thing called Friends for Life. Before I do talk a little bit about this scheme, some of you might have heard about already. I'm just going to head over to Jay. I think Jay is back.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Apologies. For some reason, my laptop just went no.
We are live. Sorry, Jay, you got cut off there by the internet. Did you want to finish what you were saying?
Yeah, all it was just saying, just agreeing with the random stories of just that, me, 3 other people, all met because we'd all done the exact same stupid thing, and now we eat every week. Obviously, with COVID, it's been a bit different, but we do stuff every week. We had lectures and everything together, and the stupidest and simplest of stories can literally, as you guys both said, make the friends for life the greatest friends. So it is really just about getting stuck in, and everyone's in the same boat. Get stuck in, nobody's embarrassed, do whatever, and then friends will just follow. Just be yourself.
Love that. That is a good sort of vibe to have when you come to university, actually. That is great. Now, we do make life a little bit easier for you at Lincoln. If you are applying to university, you can sign up to something called Friends for Life, which is basically a scheme where we help to connect applicants with other applicants based on your course that you've applied for, your accommodation, and things you're interested in as well. So as Jay was saying, when he was trying to find friends, he was trying to find the people he was living with and on his course. I think you said you only found one person.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, with Friends for Life, what we do is we contact all applicants, we invite all applicants. It's the official channel. So we set up the official subject groups for all applicants. We create the official accommodation groups for all applicants as well. So what we do is if you sign up to Friends for Life, which I will put a link below for anyone who is interested in it. But if you sign up to Friends for Life and you tell us your email address, obviously, some interest, you tell us your course, etc. We'll invite you to the official subject for your program, and there you can say hello to other applicants and basically just make friends with the people that you're going to be studying with. And we'll do the same thing for accommodation, and so you can get to know people who you'll be living with. Sounds like this might have made it a lot easier, Jay, when you were trying to do this, and could have been useful for you as well, Harriet, I think. Yeah, we do a lot of the legwork for you. So we set up the official groups, we set up the official spaces, we invite all of those to connect in there, and we encourage conversations and stuff. Another thing we do is when you tell us your interests, which could be anything from swimming to football to Harry Potter, we will use our official applicants channels to create conversation starters with those people who are interested in those subjects. So it might be things like, who do you think is going to win the Euros this year? And anyone interested in football will be invited to that, and you can have a discussion about who you think might win the Euros this year. So we do various things like that. So the link is below if you did want to have a look at that, or you can just scroll back after this is finished and have a look at that page. It's a very simple page, takes 2 seconds to sign up, but it will make your life a lot easier in terms of making friends. And if you are a little bit nervous about making friends, then that is probably the thing for you to do. Harriet, Jay, how easy would that have made your life when you were applying to university?
So much easier.
Yeah. It does sound really, really good. I won't lie. Like I said, there was a lot of stress trying to find people, and like just having them conversations and likes, I guess that would have been really nice. Yeah.
So I went back into student accommodation in my second year, and using the stuff that the uni sets up to find my flatmate did make it so much easier. Because first year we were like, kind of vaguely knew what the last girl was called, so we were all like scrolling through Facebook for ages trying to find this girl, and she didn't have Facebook. So if we'd gone through the university and got in touch with them, then it would have been so much easier. We would have been able to get some sort of channel with that. But either way, like if you don't meet them before, you still make friends with them. But it is nice to meet people before you can.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, we do also have the residential wardens as well. That are, I think they're mostly students. I think they're all students, perhaps, and they're available for all students in accommodation on and off campus, and they do socials, and they're there if you need someone to talk to, need some advice and stuff like that. So that is a really good sort of thing that we run here at the university as well. And just moving on and back to you, Jay, because I think you mentioned this perhaps, but when you do go to university and you meet your flatmates for the first time, and there might be some people that might not be friends for life, but more often than not, you're going to get along with them and make friends. But what was your experience of that, and what would you advise those who are going to be coming in autumn? Like, what would you advise them to do in terms of how to make friends when they actually do arrive?
Yeah. So the first day I arrived, I just instantly went out and tried to find somebody, say hi to them. Like I said, it is nerve-wracking, but if you don't do it, somebody else might not, and then there might be two people that they don't speak for a little while, and it's if you just bite the bullet and someone does it, it just makes life all that bit easier. So went out first thing first, say hi to people, and then really me and the flat I was in, the flat opposite, we just went out together. Went out, got some food, and then I think we went out now anyway. Yeah, well, we went. It was Freshers Week, so we went out like every night anyway. But yeah, I'm almost certain we went to Spoons, and I think especially going out with some food first is always best because you get chatting a bit and you can actually like get to know each other a little bit, have a few drinks, and eventually let kind of like the night take its course. Yes, that was my first major experience with house guests or housemates. And then societies that I assume we get onto at some point is then my like biggest second thing for making friends. But we can get onto that when we can.
Well, what about you, Harriet? About like when you went to university, and what would your advice be for making friends at uni and in your flatmates? And what was your experience of it as well?
So my first piece of advice to everyone is obviously say yes. Like, go out, have a good time. People say, do you want to come to the pub with me? Go with them. The worst thing that can happen is you get there and you're like, this isn't for me. And you say, oh, I don't feel well and I'm going to go home. You go home and make friends with other people. It really doesn't matter. But again, joining society, people with like a common ground with you. With flatmates, we did like a come down with me in the first couple of weeks. So I actually lived with like international students last year, so that was amazing. Had the best food of my whole life. And they had really boring British food, but you know, it is what it is. But that was a good bonding point. Like, I know a lot of people have done that as well. A lot of different flats kind of do food nights because everyone can bond over food. So yeah.
Absolutely true. I think my advice would be, just make sure to be that guy with the signature meal, something that you know how to cook. And everyone will thank you for it. Because not everyone who goes to university knows how to cook. So having some skills in the kitchen will really, really help you. But yeah, things like playing board games in your house, bring a game or something, I think a really good icebreaker. But I think, as you both said, icebreakers are the way forward, whether it's food or going out somewhere new, somewhere where like you're all going to the same place for the first time. It's quite a nice idea because you've got something to talk about and discuss and bond over, really. But food is always a winner for me anyway. So food all the way. But the other thing, which you just mentioned, was societies, which is a fantastic way of making friends at university. And you don't have to wait to arrive if you want to discover the societies you can be joining. There's a huge list on the SU's website, so there they are. So it's the Lincoln Students' Union that run all the societies, and I think there's more than 150. You guys might know a bit more than me, but there's
About 150.
yeah, I think so. They range from academics, sports teams, sports clubs, and there's lots of like little fun ones as well. And I joined the Harry Potter Society for a little while. I was head of Gryffindor for a little bit. Very proud of that. And for me, and that one in particular, so many people had joined that, and they were all fans of Harry Potter. So there were people you could have a conversation with about things that you were interested in. And it's the same for every other society. If you join like the swimming society, like you're president of Jay, then you can get to talk to people about your passion for swimming and all that sort of stuff. So there's loads that you could join, and you don't have to wait to arrive to, do your research, look into them. So follow that link down below, and you can find the whole list. And if you want to ask any questions about it, you can ask us here, or you can contact the SU, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help with any questions about societies. Starting with you, Harriet, tell us about I think you joined the society, didn't you? Tell us about your experience with that.
Yeah, so last year I joined trampoline and then yoga. So I hadn't been on a trampoline since I was like 16 years old, and I joined uni at 19. And we actually got through to the point where I was meant to be going over to Ireland to compete. So they're one of those things where you can make friends with people who have like an interest, but also like I didn't really know much about trampoline, and I kind of got there and started from scratch again because it'd been so many years. And that was a bonding point because the people who were like more experienced, chatting to them, like getting to like know how to do the techniques and stuff, and then we go out on socials on like a night out or whatever. So like you have people already that you know, and then if you're on a night out with say your flatmates or your other friends or whatever, you're going to be like noticing people as well. And that's one of the things I always mention about Lincoln is it's like a roundabout way. Everyone kind of has connections to everyone because it's quite a small city. So it's a blessing and a curse. But yeah, everyone seems to know everyone. Yeah, and then the other society I joined was the Yoga Society. So they were much calmer. They weren't really the going out type. We tended to have calm, sort of just chatty socials. And then obviously we did yoga together as well. So that was quite nice.
I feel like you tried like to do the opposite ends of the spectrum. You had yoga, and then you had your trampoline and bouncing around.
It's like raining in a little bit.
I love it, love it. I mean, there you go. They're the perks of the society to meet so many people. But if there is a society that that isn't there yet, you can create it yourself. You just contact the SU, let them know your idea, and take it from there. That is actually what happened with the Harry Potter Society. It was my flatmate who created it. So you can create anything. If it's not there, you can set one up yourself, or you can be the president of the society, like Jay. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so I was treasurer last year, president this year, and interestingly, actually, like, I joined the swim society a little bit late. Nothing major, like only by I think 2-3 weeks. But I'd missed the first social. I'd missed the initial kind of everyone getting to know each other. And when I did first join, it was a little bit not as obviously that's how it just was. I didn't know people as well as everybody knew each other. Even then, just 2 weeks just really did. But yeah, I just got stuck in and just tried to do those stuff. And eventually, like I said, some lad who joined a bit late, who didn't really know anybody, is now running the society and has only been doing it for 2 years. And yeah, it's just, I think my main advice, anytime I do any of these sessions or anything to do with just talking or advice to any student, would be that societies are the best way to make friends, to find other people. Because, you know, in a perfect world, you could have your course mates, your housemates, and a society. You've got 3 different groups and bunch of mates. And then if it's the complete opposite, your society can be that one reason that university is great. You know, some people, sometimes housemates aren't the best. You know, sometimes you just get lucky, people don't get along, some people get home all the time, whatever. And like I said, societies, because, as Darren said, you had them similar interests, everyone's in, you know, the same boat and likes something in that boat as well. It's like I said, you can bond so much easier. And, you know, if it's a sport, no matter your background, no matter who you are, what course you're doing, anything, you all enjoy football. You all play football, you enjoy playing, you enjoy going to games and all this, and it's, you form a community and a little family. And that ranges something from like rugby. It's like a life. Like literally being a rugby union lad is literally like just a 24/7 life. Like I think, you know, the ties they wear, they're not allowed to wash them. They're like, that is a rugby. They are not allowed to wash their ties. For the whole 3 years, you have to. It's like the whole rite of passage to make it as grim as possible. But then something to like swimming that you wouldn't think, you know, we still do really good socials. We do joint socials. I think we had a joint social before COVID with netball and futsal, and that was meant to be like 80 odd people. Unfortunately, obviously COVID came, and then obviously, you know, everything got scrapped. But still, like, every society is like a little family. I think is the best way to describe it. And some societies have like 150 odd members. Some societies have 15, and either way, you still feel a part of and get the benefits of a society. And yeah, that would be honestly that is the one thing I noted on one of these questions. Is the last thing of my last piece of advice is societies, and they're so important. That's why I want to stress them so much, because they literally can make university amazing, like even more than it already is. It can just add like a whole new dynamic that just saves it for some people.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a great way of putting it. It is like a family. And you do have those other sets of families like your flatmates or your course mates, but society is like, I know lots of people who join the societies, and I knew someone who was part of the cricket society, I think it was, and was the president eventually. And the way he spoke about it was like it was a family, which is a really nice way of putting it, actually. So there you go. If you join Lincoln, you join a society, chances are you might have a second family there for you. So, excellent. Love that. Now on to something I'm more passionate about. So you're passionate about societies, yeah. I'm passionate about food. So think about where you can go for food in Lincoln and where you can go for a drink. Now, obviously, Lincoln is a smaller city, so it's not like your Manchester or your London, but there are perks to that. Obviously, you've got all your restaurants and your bars and stuff, but you don't need to get a taxi anywhere. I'd be surprised. Have you guys ever taken a taxi or a bus in Lincoln?
Not sober.
Yeah. I took a taxi once because my friend forgot his ID, and then we didn't need to take the taxi because the bouncer was like, "You've got a wristband, you're allowed in whenever of the night." But this was like my second week, so oh my god, we have to get there before 11 o'clock. Like, well, we're not going to get late, and so we had to get a taxi. But it was absolutely fine. Like I said, everything's so close. Everything's like half hour walk max.
Completely agree. I think when I stayed in Lincoln Courts, and you're in a big shop or something, Morrison's is literally just around the corner, and McDonald's is halfway between there. So you've got your rest stop if you need a rest in that 5 minutes. So that's quite useful.
Yeah, the walk back Morrison's was always a lot harder than the walk there.
it is with all those facts.
Yeah.
Dolly, completely agree. Dolly to say we've still got loads of nice bars and restaurants. I mean, in terms of bars, we've got a lot of bars run by the SU. So we've got Towers, the Swan, and the Barge as well, which all do various different things. They're all on campus, apart from the Barge, which kind of is on campus because it's on the Brayford Pool waterfront. It is actually a barge. It's not just called Barge. And they do fancy cocktails. Towers do lots of, it's a bar, so you do lots of cocktails and food and stuff, and they play sports. And then the Swan is like your on-campus pub, basically, which was my favourite. I quite enjoyed that. But in terms of places for it, you've got if you do some Googling, if you look at the Brayford waterfront, you've got loads of restaurants down there. You've got your sort of classics like Harveston, Nando's, and that sort of thing. But there's a lot in the city centre as well, and I'll let Jay and Harriet talk about some of their favourites and stuff. But for me, I'm vegan, so I like to go to the vegan and vegetarian places, and all the popular places already have their options. But there is a lot of really sort of nice and quaint little coffee shops and cafes, all the way to the cathedral. They're kind of scattered across. So there's definitely, for anyone who's joining us and is worried about that sort of thing, please don't. We've got a fair few. But yeah, Harriet, what about yourself? Like, what do you think it's like in Lincoln in terms of food and drink, and what do you like, and what is some of your favourite places?
So I'm like you, I'm veggie, and I also have a dairy allergy, so I have to be a little bit careful about where I go. But I always find that like Asian cuisine for like veggies is like amazing. And literally on Brayford waterfront, there's like Wagamama's, which obviously is westernised, very westernised, but there's other ones as well. So there's a new Vietnamese place. I absolutely love Vietnamese food, so I go there all the time. There's also a Thai restaurant that I love. There's loads of like quirky little cafes. So we've got a cat cafe that does really good cake and coffee, which is so nice. We've been there a couple of times. It's got like a medieval theme. So for a quieter day, that's quite a nice one to go and sit in. And then my favourite pub it's called Red Vine. It's like disgustingly cheap, and I absolutely love it. You take your student ID with you, and it's like the cheapest night out ever.
Oh, purple.
I can't believe people are still going there. I used to go there when I was a student. What about yourself, Jay?
Well, firstly, Harry, where's that Vietnamese restaurant? And the time.
It's like you go past Wagamama's heading towards the High Street, and it's just to your left up towards like Scene and like the church. Yeah, it's a new one.
Fair enough, yeah. Yes, so I've got a couple of little bits. I thought I'd cover all bases. So the first thing I wrote down was we've got 2 spoons. I think always a classic. I feel, don't get me wrong, it's not the greatest food in the world, but for like what, 5-6 quid you get a pint with your food as well, so it's brilliant. Or non-alcoholic, they do, and it's cheaper, so people who don't drink always get better off. Another one like that, I said mailbox. Thought it was always a good one. Kind of, I don't know, how would you guys describe it? It's like Towers because it's a sports bar, but then it's also a bit higher end to an extent. And there's
like
25p wings. Yeah, 25p wings on the web.
In there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the other one. And then I got a tapas place called Ole Ole. I don't know if you guys have been.
My friend has.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the greatest food I've eaten for a very long time. It was beautiful. So if any of you guys are watching, you come to Lincoln, go to there. If you have a bit of money and want to go with your mates, go. It's beautiful. It's brilliant. And then the last one before I go into the takeaways, obviously, as you said, Darren, food is important. So we've got to cover all bases here. So I put the pie wipe near the one on the Brayford that is it a bit of a middle class pub, a little bit of expensive, but the walk there is kind of what makes it, you know, down by the riverfront on a nice warm day like today. It's gorgeous, and you know, have a pint at the end of it, or nice pint of Coke, and it's just cracking. That'd be, and then me two for takeouts are Tang, the new Chinese that opened. I think it's opened by Gordon Ramsay's sushi chef or sous chef, one of the two. I know it's one of the two, one of them anyway. And the other one is Castle View Curry House. It's the best curry you can get in Lincoln. So that's my best Chinese, the best curry, and I thought they're needed because they are the two best takeaways. I thought they have to be in there.
I love that. I love how you put that list for it. That's brilliant. I should say other restaurants are available in Lincoln.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, there is so much in Lincoln.
Yeah,
the other thing I
100%.
should mention is Karaoke Bar for a night out.
Yeah.
Karaoke Bar, it is the weirdest little place, but we end up there at the end of every single night, and it's such like the most fun. And there's too many videos of me screaming. So,
Is either of you two been to that new Carousel bar? Carousel?
not yet. I really want to go.
It's like arcades and stuff. I've not been myself, so obviously if you guys know it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's up in the high street. It's got all your arcade stuff, and like the cocktails come in like really crazy stuff. Like I think there's a Hungry Hippos one that comes with a game and things, and you get like cocktails in a bag and stuff. It's really, really cool. So yeah, definitely recommend that. And I think so for all you students, all your applicants who are thinking about applying, have a look on the internet and Google Jay's favorite curry house and all these other places because there's so much to choose from. I mean, we've only said a few of like our favorites, but there's a lot available in Lincoln, actually quite a few. So please do check that out. So that is one thing you need to be doing before you arrive. Check out your favorite bars and the restaurants as well. But in terms of physical stuff and what to pack, what do you think that they should be packing right now? And if anyone has any questions about, you know, should I pack this or shouldn't I pack this, or what will accommodation have, please do ask them in the comments. But Harriet, what would you think that, or what would you advise that they should be packing at this moment in time or buying for autumn?
So I think there's always like this misconception that you need to get in all your buying really, really early. But just remember, you are moving to a city, and it's not an apocalypse. Like you can buy stuff when you get here. You don't need to buy your whole kitchen. Also,
such good advice.
But one of the things I would say is buy things or get things together from home that make your bedroom feel like home. So I have I don't know if I can lean out the way and show my bed. I have like the same colour scheme in my bedroom at uni as I do at home. I also have one of the wall plugs. I think you forget when you're living at home that your house does have a specific smell that everyone else can smell and you can't. So I have a wall plug with the scent that my parents used to always use in our house. So now my bedroom smells like my house at home, which I think is just nice. It's like, yeah, it's odd one, but I like it.
That is genius. It's hard to beat that.
Yeah, to be fair, I know. Yeah. What do I do now? So I thought it was a really good question actually when you said this. I actually, because it got my brain thinking. Because obviously you got the normal stuff. I think phones and laptops are literally imperative. You have to have them for university. You know, phone for safety, like I said, meeting friends, and then laptop. You know, you got uni work to do. Obviously, there's the library, but yeah. So I tried to stay away from the, like I said, the common stuff. So my first thought was a pint glass. Now, some people might that not be a bit of an issue, but I found myself going to get a drink every 5 minutes in first year, just because obviously, you know, when you go to Asda, you get like the box of 4 glasses, and they just for sophistication and drinking orange juice, they're beautiful. But when you're thirsty, you want just some water or a bit of squash. You don't want to be able to run out every 5 minutes, you know, especially if you're doing something, you've got something important. My next thought was headphones. Good pair of headphones. As I mentioned, library, you know, you eventually spend every living moment in there. And so a good pair of headphones is class. And first year, you know, if you got noisy neighbours, headphones in, sound, just nice. I think they're just a staple, especially because you're walking so much in Lincoln as well. They're a need. To back Harriet up, even though it's not as nice as your parents' smell, Well, your parents have smell, not your parents smell. Oh, I thought a blanket. I think a blanket on your bed always makes things look a bit more homely. Looks a bit nicer. And to be fair, I'd never had this advice until I got a girlfriend, because my bed was just plain. And then I got a missus, and then it actually made it really nice. My bed actually looks nice. I just want to go in it every now and then. Cards, drinking games. I think they're always imperative. Lincoln hoodie, rite of passage. I feel like you have to bring your Lincoln hoodie. I presume they're doing it again this year. Yeah. So
they had them last year, but they've got kind of like, they don't have the hoodies last year. They have like this. Well, for this year, it's like a sweatshirt. I've got like the classic grey Lincoln hoodie.
Yeah.
I've got my Lincoln top as well that I got given on an open day. So.
Is yours grey, Darren, or is yours blue?
I have one of the sweatshirts that you mentioned, Harriet, a grey sweatshirt, but my original one is a blue one. So, and I think this year, we've gone nostalgia. We've gone back to original blue.
Oh,
so
retro.
Retro. We've gone retro again.
I think I'd say another really important thing to bring, which I've got to say, is a doorstop, especially in halls. I found one of the easiest ways to make friends with my flatmates is I just always have my door open. And it's another really good way of setting boundaries. If my door's propped open, my door stop walking. If it's not, leave me alone. And that's that. And they learned it pretty quickly when I was like, no, leave me alone. So, yeah, it's a good way of making friends, but also setting the boundaries with your friends.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, that and the pint glass is a great idea as well, because you're going through the kitchen area, and sometimes you want to just stay in your flat, don't you? Work. So pint glass is genius. I might not even share my advice. I was just going to say bring or cards games or something. That's brilliant. So I'll leave it there. But applicants do probably need to prepare other things as well. I would say if you're going to be joining us this autumn, think about cooking. Going back to food again, but think about cooking. Think about one meal that you could cook really, really well. There's always someone at you who knows how to cook a really good curry or a pasta bake or something. Be that person, be that guy in your flat, and just learn to cook a little bit, really. Because I spent my uni days eating ready meals. Not good at all. But other things like washing machine, learn how to use a washing machine, and ironing. Surprised by how much clothes need ironing all the time sometimes. If you wear shirts and stuff like me. But Jay, what would you think that they should probably start learning or preparing now before they arrive?
Yeah, so like I said, washing machine, ironing. I have to admit, I don't think I've ironed a single piece of clothing my whole time at university. However, as you might be able to see, I used to work in retail, so I can fold my clothes quite nicely. So I just hang them and dry them. So I'm not a slob. I don't go out with creased clothes. Yeah, I think obviously learn how to wash, cook. I think it always is important. And I think trying to get, look, if you're really anxious about it, watch videos, ask your parents. Obviously you don't want to be coming to university with even more stress, and you don't want that stress to be, how am I going to, put my clothes into a tumble dryer? Just Google it. And if you're not that stressed, but you don't know how to do it, it's another way to make friends. Go with your four mates and try and find out where the washing machine is, how to work it. It's funny. And the opposite to what you were saying, Darren, about being a good cook, I think it's even funnier when somebody's a horrific cook. We still take the mick out of our mate who, I think, what did he do? He put tomato sauce, pasta and cheese, and he still stands by it. And it's just brilliant. It's just funny, and it's just things to bond over. And like I said, if you go learn how to cook together, learn how to use the washing machine, laugh at somebody who's just made a horrific meal. It's all fun and games, and like I said, it's just really, yeah. I'm trying to think if I know anything. My main thing was just get involved, learn on the job. That's what I did. Because like I said, it's not that hard, but look, if you do have loads of anxieties about it, do get ahead, but it's really easy to just I think in course, I think they have instructions for everything. I'm almost certain they do, because like I said, there's so many settings and there's so many clothes. But like, yeah, I don't think that's something I ever tell somebody to stress too much about, because you just pick it up so easily because you physically have to. You know, nobody else is going to do it for you, so you physically have to get used to it and understand what you're doing as well.
I think that's great advice, actually. I remember when I was a student and I knew how to use the washing machine, I think, but I was like, I've got colours, I've got whites. What if you've got something that's white and has colour? And I remember I was like, where do I put this? What do I do? So it is actually a pretty good idea, actually. It does help you bond because you just have a laugh over it, don't you?
Definitely.
You're all in the same boat and you're all getting through. You're getting through that.
My advice, I will say, for washing though, it does annoy me that people get it wrong. Not get it wrong, but after something's washed a little bit, don't worry about colours. Worry about the 30 and 40 washes. The 30 and 40 washes. Because it says on your clothes, it says what it needs to be washed at, 30 or 40, and that's the mistake people make. So, like I said, read the instructions and read your clothes as well. Just see what your clothes say. At the end of the day, the clothing will tell you how it needs to be washed. So half the time, like I said, it's just searching around for the information, because it's normally always there. It's just knowing what to find and where to find it.
Yeah, love that. We need to do another live lounge with you, Jay, just talking about how
we need a tutorial on how to fold clothes, because I still can't fold clothes. They will get they just get hung up straight away, hang up, can't be asked of it.
A chopping board. That's what you need.
There you go. What do you think, Harriet? What should the applicants be preparing at the minute?
I would say just kind of mentally prepare yourself in general. You're going to come to uni and you're going to make a fool of yourself, which sounds terrifying. I can't tell you how many times I've done something so stupid and people have been like, Harriet, are you actually okay? And especially this year, I'm 21 and all of my flatmates are 18, 19. So everyone kind of came to me for advice about things. And I'm still the first one to do the ditziest thing. I am a typical ditzy blonde where I'd make the stupidest mistakes. So it's just learning to laugh at yourself and learning to just laugh at your mistakes and not take it too seriously. Obviously, your degree is serious. That's the part of uni that you're going to take seriously. Everything else, just laugh it off. If you dye your white top red in the washing machine, it really doesn't matter. Just get another white top from Primark and laugh it off, because it's going to make your experience more fun. So, yeah, just say learn to laugh at yourself, learn to kind of just go with it. And yeah, don't stress too much about learning. You'll learn when you're here. As long as you can cook tomato pasta, you're not going to waste away, and you can learn with your flatmates. So another bonding experience.
Very, very true. We've had a really good question from Kieran Hawk, and Kieran's asking, what is it like on the first week at uni? I'll not say too much. I'll leave it to you guys. I think I will say a lot of stuff happens in your first week. You'll meet a lot of new people. You'll meet your course mates. You might do inductions and things, and then there's the freshers fair. It can feel a bit full on, and there's a lot of stuff to do. But there's a lot of stuff here to help you. And as we've been saying throughout, everyone is in the same boat. So don't feel that you're left out or anything. But Jay, tell us, what do you think first week of uni is like? If you could do a little summary of that for us.
Messy. Yeah, because obviously it's Freshers Week. So like I said, you're getting to know people, you're getting to know courses. Welcome talk, I'm pretty sure that week, aren't we? So you're getting to know your course, kind of more the admin side, the ins and outs of it. So that's really nice. I don't know, Harry, if you had a similar experience to your course, but history, they made us do, well, not made us, that sounds a bit, we did a treasure hunt around Lincoln and was given loads of different spots to go have a look and take photos of. And see, because it was history based, it was like, what building used to be a courts and is now like a hotel or something like that. And so we had to go find it and went round in a group of 5, and that's the group of 5 that I'm still best friends with now. And then just going out with your flat, doing bits and bobs. At the end of the day, I think you get your student loan in that first week as well. So just go crazy. Go crazy. Yeah. Don't blow it all in like the first week. I know people that did that. They did. It was a cheap rest of the year for them.
What about yourself, Harriet?
So yeah, the first week, it's always a mad one. I'd probably say pack comfy clothes for that week, and also one thing we didn't mention, which is always something I say for essentials, is bring a first aid kit, and that's not just like plasters and stuff. Like yeah, bring plasters and stuff because you'll always get the one person that cuts their finger, usually me, or their knee or something like that. So it's always good to have it with you. But also paracetamol, you're going to want to make it to your welcome talks. So bring paracetamol, cold and flu tablets as well. You'll probably get freshers flu. I got it all flu. When the pubs reopened, we had our second freshers week of the year, and I'm still recovering from it now. So I would say, yeah, it's a fun week. You get to know everyone. It's probably one of the most daunting weeks of the year, other than like exams. But once you get involved, once you get into it, it becomes fun. And yeah, you end the week probably feeling a bit worse for wear, but then you've got the excitement of uni starting. So yeah.
Great. Just see another question from Kieran. What are the requirements to join uni? So, Kieran, I'll just ask you if you check out the website and check out the course that you're wanting to apply for, all the requirements are there for you. Although I might, if I get a chance at the end, I will share the admissions team's contacts with you as well, so you can drop a message. But we do have a few minutes left. We'll have to start wrapping up very, very soon. If you've got any questions, please do put them in the chat. We'll try and get round to them. But thank you, everyone who has got in touch so far. And I will just quick fire questions for you both. So, favorite place in Lincoln. So, favorite place in Lincoln, and last piece of advice, students. Jay, go. So, favorite place, final piece of advice.
Favorite place. I have 4, so I'll split for 4. Trebles. You get a triple spirit mixer for £3.30. Cathedral, it speaks for itself. The Queen of the West, that's a pub in a place called West Common, West Parade. That's like a big student area in Lincoln. So if any of you guys watching, when you're kind of second year, that's the kind of place you'll probably be living around there. Beautiful pub. Queen of the West is like a proper nice traditional pub. And then my last one is West and South Common. West Common, great for walks, has horses, they're cute, play football, whatnot. Tennis courts, I think, as well there. And then South Common, there you can see a cracking sunset from South Common. If you just go to the top of the hill. It's a little bit more of a walk, but still 40-50 minutes, and it's worth every penny just to see the sunset. It's beautiful. And my last piece of advice is societies. Just get involved with societies, get involved full stop with everything you can. And yeah, join swimming next year if you want to.
Over to you, Harriet.
Okay, Lincoln's such a hard place to pick just one place. So my favourite pub is obviously Red 5. Like I say, take your student card, really, really cheap drinks, amazing. And then there's a lake just outside Lincoln called Wishby Lake, and like loads and loads of walking around there. So me and my friend always go there when we want like a quiet one. So we go and walk around there. And then yeah, there's just loads of places like South Common. That's one of my favourite places as well. And my last piece of advice is just get involved, crack on with it. Kind of try and push your nerves to the side as much as you can, say yes, and just have loads of fun. Like uni is about getting a degree, but it's also about like the social life and having fun and actually enjoying your experience. Yeah.
Brilliant. I think my favorite place would be, because I live in Lincoln now. I studied and live in Lincoln, and I own a dog. I have a dog now, a little mini poodle called Sweet, and so I do a lot of walking now, a lot more walking than I used to do. So I really enjoy like that, the whole view where the campus sits along the Brayford and just walking along there on a sunny day like today. It is amazing. And then all the way up to the Bailgate area as well, where you've got Steep Hill, which is, it is a steep hill, and there's lots of like really quaint. I think there might be a couple of pubs, and there's definitely restaurants, ice cream shops, all sorts of stuff on there. Always reminds me of diving out of Harry Potter. That is my favorite place. And all around the cathedral, actually, just a really nice area. It's a really beautiful places in Lincoln. It's great. I think it was actually rated as one of the most Instagrammable cities. I can't remember who rated it. It's one of the most Instagrammable cities in the UK. which is not surprising because it is really beautiful.
Yeah.
My final advice would be to start doing your research now. So things like checking out our Instagram handles, check out all our social media, all our videos, and just do your research into accommodation and just seeing where you're actually going to be. Obviously, join up to Friends for Life and things like that. But yeah, just start doing your research now, getting sort of settled. And if you can come and check us out at one of our physical open days, please do so. They're in July, and you should get a really good vibe for the place as well. But I am going to start wrapping up. So I want to say thank you very much to Jay and to Harriet. Thank you so much. You've been brilliant. And actually, a lot of your advice is genius. I've been making notes. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who actually commented and engaged with us. Obviously, a really good question from Sang. Sang is asking, can other people be in your room at night in your accommodation, or is it okay for you? Usually, that's fine. Depends on your accommodation. So if you just double check with who you're staying with, then that'll be best. Yeah, thank you everyone. We do have, if you want to learn more, we do have a virtual open day this Saturday. That's at 10 a.m. That'll be on our YouTube, on Facebook. But we have if you go to our website, all the information's there. And we will be doing a little city tour. So hopefully the weather is just as sunny, and we'll be doing a tour. And we'll have accommodation. We'll be talking to more students and talking. I think we'll see me and you there, Jay, won't we? As well, actually, we'll be doing.
Yeah, I think so.
A little chat there. So please do attend the virtual open day if you want to learn more. In terms of our live lounges, we do have another live lounge next week with the poet Dame Caroline Duffy. She's going to be, I believe, doing some poetry reading. So if that is, she former poet laureate. And if that's something that you're interested in, please do check that out. And if you've got any questions, put them in the chat to her as well. It's a really unique opportunity because she's a visiting artist actually here at the uni. Loads more down the line. We've got live lounges every week. We've got Chris Packham way down the line as well. So check out our website for all the information. And I think that is it. So thank you everyone again. Thank you, Harriet. Thank you, Jay. Hopefully we will see you all in autumn. So thank you very much, and hopefully see you soon. Bye.
See you guys.